Okay, so the second point I want to talk about is how prototyping forces you to design for interaction. So when we're designing statically, we're spending far less time looking at how things work, and we're really focusing on how things look. Even when you're designing at low fidelity, you're still kind of thinking about how things look, you know, what UI components you're going to be using, where they're going to be situated. And it's very easy actually to just kind of drop into high fidelity design. You start to add some color. Maybe you've got a Figma design system and you're dragging things out. And that's very constraining in many ways, especially at the beginning of the creative process. You know, we've all got design systems that we need to adhere to, but we shouldn't really be constraining ourselves too much if we're thinking about an idea from the very beginning. So we want to be sketching, we want to be doing low fidelity prototypes, okay? And the problem with using design systems and by design systems, I'm talking about Figma libraries or sketch libraries, not as opposed to kind of interactive design systems that you might have in code. The problem with those is you're kind of constrained by the interactions of those. You're also really just designing passively. So you're putting those, you're organizing those in a screen, and then you're maybe drawing another frame, and then you're organizing another bunch of components. So it's basically the high fidelity version of just drawing some sketches without thinking kind of what happens in between. And it's really easy to miss things. Certainly from an interaction and motion design perspective, if I'm using something, I might make different decisions about where things should be situated. And even often I find things that I've missed as well. Okay, so here's an example. So in this sketch, I'm primarily thinking about the UI. So I'm looking at kind of this welcome screen with this message, and it's got this button to kind of instigate this camera. Obviously, I'm imagining in my head that this camera's going to pop up somehow, and I'm going to press this button, and then some animation is going to happen. It's going to show me kind of the photo that I've taken. It's going to give me an option to say, like, do I want to keep that photo or do I want to discard it and have another go? But the problem with this at the moment is all the interactions are inside of my head, right? You can't see them. I can see them in my head. So I need a mechanism to show you, to share my vision of the motion design, the interaction design, and that's what I will be using prototyping for. So as you can see here, I've built a very rudimentary prototype. So this is kind of the same ones we saw earlier in the presentation, and you can already start to feel how real that is. You can actually scan the QR code here on the screen if you want to play with this prototype yourself. You just need Prototype Player installed on your phone or your device. But it's really starting to kind of bring it to the fore as to how this is going to be working. You know, at this stage, I'll experiment with lots of different ideas as well. In this particular prototype, I realized that I wanted to have a button to switch between the front facing and the rear camera, something that I didn't really think about when I was drawing it. So it's already starting to kind of highlight certain things I need to be considering.